Hey, it is Victoria. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and please go ahead and click on that subscribe button. In today's video, I feel weird even like starting off. In today's video, I will be discussing, as you can already tell by the title, birth control. And the reason I feel so uncomfortable about it is because I don't want in this video for anyone to think that I am discouraging them from using birth control. Some of us need birth control, so I'm not discouraging it. It's just that I didn't even plan to do a video today. I actually just got a direct message and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hop on camera and I'm gonna talk about it because it's been one of these topics that I've been avoiding for a while because of what I just said to you. I don't want you to think that I am trying to discourage you from using birth control. And this person that sent me a direct message is suffering from recurrent yeast infections. And if you have ever sent me a direct message regarding recurrent yeast infections, then the first question I probably ask you is, are you on birth control? What kind? And that's because of what birth control and the different types of birth controls, what they do in the female body. So I wanted to go over that with you all. Like, I felt like, and I didn't even include this in my book, and because I didn't want it to be too controversial, and like I said, I'm not bashing the birth control industry, but if you were my sister, which you all are my sisters, PSR, Deborah York, Swalanda, all of you guys who were there with me through with Victoria's Angels, follow me through my breakup and sent me all of the encouraging words, and Steph, Letisa, I know you guys. Like, you guys are my sisters. I know you and I love you. And I feel like if you were my sister, then I would say this to you. Like, with my close friends, I say this to them that have this issue. I tell them about this. And I feel like I'm supposed to let you guys know. So I'm going to let you know. And I'm going to stop feeling weird about it. So stay tuned. I'm just going to share with you all what the link between birth control and yeast infections, BV, and many other things. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so first, I am not a doctor. I'm just a girl that knows stuff. But first, let's understand what is going on. Like, what is birth control, how it works. So with many different types of birth controls, there are, or with most birth controls, the way that it works is there is hormones that is being injected or taken orally. It's hormones that you are putting in your body, and those hormones are estrogen, but the type of hormone the estrogen that you're putting in your body through birth control is man-made. And it is progesterone, and the synthetic version of that is progestin, which is also man-made, and that is also what you're ingesting, or you're wearing on your patch, or you're having on your ring, in your ring, or your IUD, or what have you. And with those birth control, sorry, I had to ask my son to shh, he's playing Mickey Mouse. But anyway, I'm sorry. With those birth controls, what they do is with the estrogen, it increases your estrogen levels. And by doing so, it makes it so that you don't ovulate, because the body's your normal hormonal cycle in the body is for it to be leveled at one point and for there to be a peak. And then that peak is when you start to ovulate. But with the hormones that you are ingesting or using through the birth control, what it does is it kind of regulates your estrogen and your progesterone levels, and it kind of keeps it steady, so you won't have that peak, so you won't ovulate. And then with the progestin, the synthetic progesterone, what that does is it kind of thickens the mucus on your cervical wall, so an egg won't attach to it. So that's the way that it's working. But with the extra estrogen that you're taking in, Candida is what causes is the yeast that causes yeast infections. Is the bacteria, sorry, that causes yeast infections. It's called Candida, and Candida loves some estrogen. So with all of this extra estrogen, the Candida actually attaches to the estrogen, and it works in kind of a weird way, because then it lowers your estrogen because the candida is attached to it. So it then lowers it. So now your estrogen is like dramatically lowered, like dramatically. And now it causes an increase in your progesterone, which is the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, yeast. And that's what's causing yeast infections. Now, I'm not saying that that's what causes all yeast infections. God knows there's plenty of other things that you have seen in many of my other videos. Stay tuned to the end of this video. If you are new here, stay to the end of this video and I'll link some other videos explaining yeast infections and how you can treat them at home, how you can tackle them at home and so on, and other factors, because I don't want to do that all here in this video. But just in case you're new here, let me just say it could be soaps, it could be from fragrance soaps, it could be from dyes and washcloths, it could be from underwear that's too tight, pants that are too tight, not having enough probiotics in your system. Again, I will stay tuned until the end of the video. When this video ends, it'll come up with a link and you can click on the videos. But so basically that's what happens for those of you who are taking or using any type of birth control, not the hormonal birth controls. Now, I'm not saying don't take it. Again, what you can do is you can, all I'm saying is find the birth control that is right for you to use, because what may work for Carrie does not work for Samantha. What might work for Gina doesn't work for Pam. Okay, figure out what's going on with you and what your body is most compatible with, because some people are taking birth control or use the patch or took the shot and it doesn't bother them at all, while with others they gain weight. A lot of times with hormonal birth control, it can also cause baldness. It can cause you to lose your hair, because what happens with that is the hormonal imbalance causes your hair, like your hair follicle. So when your hair is growing, it goes through 3 different phases. So there's the active phase, and then there is the like a tanagen phase, like the transitional phase in between, and then there is the resting phase. And with the resting phase, your hair doesn't grow at all, it's actually shedding. And so with birth control, it could cause your hair to go into resting phase too soon and for too long. So if you notice that your hair is falling out or your hair is thinning, things like that, then maybe you're not on the right birth control. Consider changing to a different type of birth control. You have birth control, I think my mom just got here, the dogs are barking, so sorry about that. But they have different types of birth controls. Other birth controls that are not high in estrogen, or they have lower hormone levels, so look into that. Well, we're just having all sorts of interruptions today, but that's okay. We're going to keep on rolling. But another thing that I wanted to share with you all in regards to these hormonal birth control is, especially the ones that you like insert, like the ring and things like that, they cause your area to hold on to sugar. And if you're not familiar with it already, yeast and bacteria love sugar. So that's what they're going to eat. So if you have increased sugar down there, then it is going to cause you to have more yeast infections. Also with the implants and the rings and anything that you're putting up there, that is also a good way to throw off your pH balance. So then that can cause other things like BV, as well as yeast infections. So just, I'm not saying don't use birth control, use birth control, but make sure you're using the one that is compatible with your chemistry, okay? I feel bad already. I don't know why, because I don't want to feel like I'm discouraging you all to use birth control, but I just want you to be aware of what's going on in your body, because I mean, you are literally injecting yourself with hormones. You know it's illegal to inject chicken with hormones now? It's illegal to inject chickens with hormones or antibiotics and things like that, but we can inject ourselves with hormones and use antibiotics, because what happens is, what happened was little boys started to get little boobies and it was a problem. But so just be careful with what you're putting in your body. Why can't men be on the birth control, right? Oh, that ain't gonna happen. But anyway, I just wanted to share this video with you all and let you guys know that with the use of birth control, that it does throw off your body's natural hormonal balance. So that can be the cause for many of your yeast infections, BV, so if here are some telltale signs that you're on the wrong birth control. If you notice that since birth control that your hair started to thin out, like think back when you started. If your hair started to thin, if you've got bald spots, things like that, you may be on the wrong birth control. Again, because this is interfering, disturbing our natural hormonal balance. Have you been growing facial hair and you're not a man, and you have a beard and a mustache and not really sure which restroom to go to? That's because your body's confused and it thinks you're a man. You're on the wrong birth control. Really research and figure out which birth control works for you. Some of you may be experiencing acne or dry skin or whatever. Just take a look, just tally all up, take inventory of all of your symptoms since starting birth control, and just maybe you're on the wrong one. I personally like to use what my brother would like to call rubbers. And that's just my personal preference. I have no interest in injecting myself with man-made hormones or interfering with my body's natural hormonal levels. Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like that's why women age so much faster than men, because it's kind of like thrusting us into like early menopause and things like that, because it is really, it's messing with our estrogen. Like, we're not ovulating and we're women, you know. I want to be a woman, you know. That's fine. I want my period, you know. I want to be a lady as long as I can. But again, that's just my personal preference. And I hope you guys have taken away something from this video. I love you all so much. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram name is @a_beauty_beast. Also, check out my feminine hygiene book. I wrote an ebook, guys, so check it out. It's packed full of information. It does not cover this topic because I felt weird about it. I'm gonna stop feeling weird about things. A lot of things I don't talk about because I'm like, I don't want to, you know, but again, we're family, so I'm just gonna start letting it all hang out, right? So check out my ebook. I'm gonna link it in the description box below. And as usual, like I said, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.